Welcome back, everybody. This week it's just me and Jack. Dan's phoned his picks in. We're waiting for Cole, but it's been a kind of crazy week meeting up with schedules, so this is what we got. A big week, the 14th week of the season. Playoffs have officially begun. Jack and Alex have the first round buys. Jack secured his last week. Alex, big scare against Cole. I thought Cole was going to pull that one out.
He almost squeaked it out.
Yeah, I think he lost by point. He lost by 2 and some change, but very close. Let's see who he had. Oh, that's right. If he has Peyton Barber, his favorite running back, in over Marlon Mack, Cole wins that, and then I think Scott Todd still gets the bye just because of points. But it is what it is. Chris secured 3 with the win. Buck dropped with the loss, but didn't matter. He still had 4. Dan, big time, close win. Alshon Jeffrey needs 33 points, and Joe wins that game. Comes out with 31. Not 32 to tie, 31. So Dan holds on to that one. John took care of business when he needed to. So he makes the playoffs. I fall flat on my face against Gruesome Twosome, and we both miss. So, as I said, playoff pictures. Jack and Alex both have buys. Jack will play the winner of Buck versus Dan, I believe, and then Alex play winner Chris John. Let me see if that's 100% accurate. And then everyone else is in the yeah, you get winner Dan.
Yeah, that's right.
Dan versus Buck.
Mm-hmm.
Cole's going to play Brendan this week, 9 versus 12. Joe faced Dempsey, 10 versus 11. Brendan secures the beer mile. Gruesome Twosome, a nice 6 and 7 season, especially with the first one of their career. Didn't have to play Alex twice. We might be looking at a playoff berth, but who knows? And a couple early season miscues. But overall, just disappointing on my end. And I'm sure everyone agrees. But did I mention the beer mile? Yeah, Brendan's going to run it. Dempsey might run it for fun because he's a crazy person. And Dan might run it just for a pacer. I'm sure Dan will too. Yep. So we'll get that together soon enough. No, I don't want to do that before the football game because then Brendan will be out of energy.
We'll lose them for the end of the day, and then Brendan will be done for the rest of the day.
They'll just cover each other. Like, Dempsey will be like, "What's wrong, guys? I feel good." So, but it did happen. Brendan and Jack both take over. Well, Brendan has the worst offense and worst defense in the league, and Jack held on to best offense and best defense in the league. Brendan only scored 78 points a game, just over 78 and 3/4, dropping a whole point. Jack, you scored 123 per game. I think you could have beat Brendan's total in about week 8 of the season, which is just over halfway, which is pitiful on his part.
It's awful.
Like I said, Brendan had the worst defense at 106 per game against, which isn't the worst. It's not as big of a gap. You had 89 per game against, which is only like 17 rather than the 45 on the other end. But otherwise, some notable injuries, but nothing crazy Oh, never mind. Melvin Gordon still week to week. James Conner got ruled out early. Brieda got ruled out early. Emmanuel Sanders tore his Achilles in practice. Just off the top of my head. Just a weird week. A lot of injury. They came in early with a lot of that. Nothing lately. But whatever. I'm still.
It's huge for Alex on the bye week. James Conner.
Huge.
To rest up.
Yeah, him and Gordon. Just Alex is catching a lot of breaks right here.
It is.
I'm not going to say it's undeserved, but holy shit. But let's get into the best things we saw all week. Mine is Dan. One, as I mentioned earlier, 0.1. But the real thing is, loved it because it was just a microcosm of what has happened to Joe on the year. I think he went 4-9. Just kick to the nuts after kick to the nuts after kick to the nuts. It just It's just the way his season went. He hasn't made the playoffs, I want to say, in 3 years. Let me pull that up while Jack, you tell us the best thing you saw this week.
The best thing I saw all week was hold up, I'm doing some quick math here. Brendan and Demps both living up to the worst two teams in the league. Brendan, they combined for 112.12 points
Oh my
this
God.
week. The gruesome twosome annexation of Puerto Rico would have beaten them this week together if they played. So yeah, it was a great way for them to finish their seasons at the worst, and I hope they enjoy the beer mile together.
They truly deserve each other on that.
They really do.
That's incredible. But yeah, so going back, I still can't believe it. This is, the fourth season in a row Joe hasn't made the playoffs. Longest drought. I mean, I'm not going to count gruesome twosome just because they're 0 for 1.
Right, they're a new team, right? They won't qualify.
Second longest drought is myself, missing the last 3 playoffs. Current, you actually hold, on record, it could go back further, the longest postseason record. You've been in it every year since 2010, marking your 9th straight year. Alex is behind you at 6 in a row from 2013 on. And then, let's see, this will be Dan's 2nd year in a row. Chris is 3rd. Buck's first time ever snapping that 2 or 3 year, I can't remember off the top of my head, playoff missing. And John's 3rd year in a row. So, wow, I didn't know John was 3 in a row.
People forget that, huh?
I mean, it was that shitty team he had last year with the great defense, so that's why I want to ignore it. But I can't ignore the facts when I haven't made it.
That's a good stat.
Yeah.
John, 3 years in a row.
So I'll send out. I have a whole spreadsheet I'm putting together that fantasy records thing. Jack, you are 79, 40, and 1, half point away from being 2.667, holding the best record. Dan 60 and 60. I'm 59, 61. Cole's 60, 59, and 1. Holy shit.
Jeez.
Alex is 70 and 50. Joe's 62 and 57. Chris is 49 and 56. Demps is 29 and 47. And 2, Buck's 29 and 49, what Dempsey should be. Brendan's 36, 40, and 2. John's 26 and 13. And Billy's 6 and 7. Everyone else has been out of the league. But that is how everyone stands. Let's get into the previews for the week. I'll take the first one here.
Okay.
It's Chris versus John. Chris has been kind of skidding lately. He's had numerous injuries to his team, and it's really taking its toll, especially Drew Brees or not Drew Brees. Alvin Kamara not having a great week last week, but he's got Brady at Miami where they've struggled, but I'm sure he's still going to do good. He's got Cooper and Tate going up against each other this week. I don't know if Tate scores again, but I think Cooper will have a big game against the Eagles. AP is about to be a walking body cast. I love that. 8 rushes for 8 yards, but 1 rush for 90 yards. It's just
unbelievable.
It's great. It's great.
All you have to do is stop AP and you should win.
Yeah, and especially they don't have anyone else. It's Mark Sanchez is in charge of everything. So
that's it.
You got Kamara, Kelsey, Mixon. Kelsey should see an uptick. He had a great week last week. Will Lutz, who's always money, in Pittsburgh versus Oakland should be a good scoring defense. On the other side, you got Carson Wentz going up against Dallas, which doesn't bode well for John. Cooks against Chicago, not great. Again, Edelman, the Patriots always struggle in Miami, so Edelman could definitely have a good game, but I don't think it'll be great. McCaffrey against Cleveland, he's going to blow up. Adams at Dallas, it's going to, again, struggle. Jimmy Graham, has he done anything in the past few weeks? 5.57 seems high for a projection.
He's been playing with a broken finger, I know that.
That's right. Oh, he did have 11 targets last week. 8 catches for 50 yards, which...
The Nelson Aguilar line.
Yeah, holy shit. Tevin Coleman's in there. Get Green Bay. They should get some points. It's kind of, I don't want to say it's a shit matchup, but it's gonna be a slugfest. I'm gonna go with 101 for Chris to 99 for John, and Chris takes it. Jack?
I agree. It's gonna be a slugfest. It's kind of a weird. Like either team could blow up, and either team could just be extremely average.
Yeah. It's a very weird matchup.
But I'm gonna take John in this one.
Ooh.
102.6 to 100.3.
Okay. Dan took, who did he take? Oh, he took Chris. He took Chris? Wow.
Surprising.
Yeah. He took Chris 97.4 to 88.6, which is probably a little bit closer than what ours is. But so that's 2-1 in favor of Chris. Jack, take us through the next one. It's Buck versus Dan, the 4-5 matchup. Who you got?
This is going to be a good one. It starts tonight, actually, in the Jacksonville-Tennessee game.
Oh, yes.
Buck has Fournette and Tennessee's defense going tonight.
Oh, you hate to see that.
You really do. You're just hoping for some Tennessee sacks and a Fournette huge game.
Yeah, 90-yard touchdown.
Right. Eric Ebron is questionable, but I'm sure he'll play since Jack Doyle's out. Kerryon Johnson was limited, but I think he'll be back this week, hopefully. That'll be huge for Buck. It's pretty even at the quarterback position. Aaron Rodgers hasn't been stellar this year.
Well, what do you think is going to happen with the new coach?
That's true too.
Is it going to take some adjusting, or is he going to? They're going to be like, let's fucking throw it.
They're going to sling it, but I guess they have nothing to lose at this point. So, especially against the Falcons, it could be a high-scoring game.
Yeah.
But on the other side, Cam Newton plays Cleveland, and so that's a cake matchup. Wide receivers are pretty even. Buck might have the slight edge just because of Thielen.
Yeah, I agree.
And then, Derek Cohen's been a beast. This is going to be a good one.
This is going to be a good one.
This is going to be a shootout. Mark Ingram, we'll see. David Johnson. You got Vulture twice last week. That was tough for Dan, but he still won.
Yeah.
Jeez. Mike Evans has a good matchup against New Orleans. Theoretically, the Chargers should blow out the Bengals, so that'll be tough for Keenan Allen unless he gets his early.
Yeah, he's got to eat early if he wants a seat at the table. Helton's going to be slinging it all day, or hopefully catches all day. It doesn't go to Ebron. I mean, Dan's hoping. I don't give a shit, but
that should be a big game.
Yeah.
I hate that Dan's gonna be mad at me, but I'm gonna take Buck slightly in this one. It's gonna be a heck of a game. I like both of these teams here. Buck's first time in the playoffs. Dan's fighting for his first championship. I'm gonna take Buck 109.8 to 106.4.
Ooh, close one. I'm also gonna take Buck. I think his team has the edge between Thielen and Fournette. I mean, David Johnson's gonna have a good game, but I just don't trust them to ensure that he does. And I like Kerryon more than Woods if he plays, and
Fournette got the week off, so he's got an extra week of rest after
he is rested. Yeah,
so he's probably pissed and ready to go tonight.
I'm gonna go 121.56 to 103.5.
Wow.
I don't think it's going to be that close, just because I think this is going to be a big play matchup, and that's what it comes down to. That's why I'm going with that.
Big game for the Commissioner's Jewel. Wow.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Dan picked himself. No surprise there. 115 to 17, or he had 117.6 for him, 115.8 for Buck. So again, 2-1. This time Dan's the odd man out. Let me. Nope. Hold on. let me get back to the right page. And I'll break down the next one. It'll be Joe versus Dems. We'll run through this one kind of quickly just because it is. So let's see. Duke Johnson, Kenyon Drake are Dempsey's starting running backs. He's got Josh Reynolds in there. This is like, hopefully Drew Brees is slinging it around at Tampa, and Julio has more than 30 yards again. Dempsey, I don't think he's going to break the 75-point mark. There's just a lot of potential to fall on his face. And Joe, he's got Mahomes. Tough matchup versus Baltimore. Schuster should have a day. Jeffrey's going to be tough. Howard stinks. Crowell stinks. And Joke will have a decent game. Antonio Brown will blow up. I think Joe gets to the 85. I'm going to call it. Oh, shit, Dan. I'm going to call it 89-70. Joe over Debs.
Yeah, I think Joe could win with just Mahomes and Antonio Brown this week.
High chance.
I'll take I'll take Joe to 92.1 to 68.5.
Oh, throw some spec on that there. Okay, why don't you take us through the last one? It's Cole versus Brendan. Again, consolation matchup. Dan took Joe over Dems 87-77. So, Jack, Cole versus Brendan. Who do you got?
Another Cole looking like a good projection this week. Cole's team actually kind of rounded out pretty nice as the year went on, not going to lie. Just real quick, this is all you have to know about. Brendan has Roethlisberger, Landry, D.D. Westbrook, Theo Riddick, Doug Martin, Trey Burton, Nelson Aguilar is his starting lineup.
He's committed to Aguilar hard.
He might score less points than Demps. 65 for Brendan, and Cole will score 108 flat.
65-108. I'm looking at Brendan's team. He has 4 guys on IR, and his only guy in his IR spot is no longer questionable or injured Deontay Foreman. So
hasn't played a game all year.
He has been on IR, PUP, IR, whatever you want to call it, and I guess he is designated to return. But it's just funny seeing 4 IRs and then his IR spot doesn't have an injured guy in it. But yeah, Cole should mop this up. Russell Wilson's been playing much better. Saquon should run all over Washington. I think between Ertz, Saquon, and Russell Wilson, Cole can take it. I think he can start 3 players and win 45-41. But if he goes the whole team, I think it's 105-41. So that's all I got. Oh, last week. So here's the overall records for the pick'ems on the season. Damn it, Jack. Jack finished in first at 34-20. I was 31-24, and Dan was 30-24. Cole was 10-7. He hasn't been on in weeks, I feel like. I guess. I mean, his record would show that. But overall, through all our guests, John had the highest percentage of picking at 5-1, followed by Brendan and both Brendans at 4-2. Dempsey, Joe, and Chris all went 3-3, and then both sides of the gruesome twosome went 0-1. So, congrats to John on another consolation award, but it was a good year for you. But that's all I got. Me and you are on bye this week. Obviously different byes, but still on bye. That's what I keep bragging about. Like, hey man, I'm on bye. I'm on bye.
Don't bother me this week.
So, good luck to everyone playing. Hopefully we keep scoring well and see uptick. Jack, you got anything else? Possible some shit talk on Dan or Buck?
I hate to put injuries on people, but if players get hurt tonight, I wouldn't be upset.
No, definitely not. But okay, sure one this week. Only 4 games and just the 2 of us. So we'll see you all next week. Hopefully our schedules are a little bit easier to accommodate. But as always, suck our dicks. Later.